All right. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. What was the experience like of getting that letter or email in the mail?
Um, at first I was kind of in disbelief.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit. I think it was really when the offer actually came into Ontario colleges and I pressed
Yeah.
the button like accept. That was
Yeah.
really the first moment I was thinking that I actually got in.
Wow. That's awesome. And here is your score sheet. Is it okay if I show this with
Yeah, for sure.
everyone? So basically anyone that is has gotten in, I'm just kind of reaching out to, and I would love to just like hear your whole like everything that you felt and thought throughout the process that I probably don't even remember anymore because I
Yeah.
teaching all this portfolio stuff. I've obviously done the portfolio way back in 2007, I think was the year I got in.
Wow.
So it's nice to hear from students that have gotten in and hearing about the whole process. So I would love to hear your whole experience, and we could just go through your portfolio, and I could ask questions. Is it okay if I record this? Is that all right?
Yes,
So we can
that's
showcase
fine.
students. Awesome. Yeah. Wow. What a great mark. Um, what did you think going in? Did you feel good? Were you like unsure or?
I was trying not to think about it too much. I
Yeah.
was just thinking if I get in, then I do. If I don't, I don't. It's
Yeah.
really up to them.
Did you have were you going to go to art fundamentals if you didn't,
Yes,
or?
that was my plan B. I was really just, either way, I wanted to go to Sheridan.
Yeah. Awesome. And were you're in your last year of high school, or are you applying for more?
Yes, and I'm
Okay.
in grade 12, so this is my first
Amazing.
time
So you got
applying.
in straight, you're the second person that got in straight from high school, which is really makes me feel good because it is so difficult to get in from high school. Most students don't. They usually do a year of preparation somewhere,
Yeah,
usually at Sheridan. And but to get in straight from high school, it just is so great. So congratulations. That is really,
thank
really
you.
cool. Wow. Okay. So let's see some of this. So where would you like to start?
I'm good with anything. And
Okay.
if you need other parts of the portfolio, I can send them.
Sure. Yeah, whatever you'd like. Whatever you'd like to talk about, send it over and I'll check my email. We have a bunch to start with for now.
Yeah,
But yeah, you can send whatever you'd like over at any time.
okay.
Yeah. Really awesome characters. So unique. Like such an interesting like what was in your mind when you were making this
Right.
character?
I've had this character for a long time.
Oh,
I've
okay.
had him for a few years. He's an alien insect. That's I can describe that as simply as possible.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
I
so
was.
simple, such simple shapes. Like even the feet are just like the gentlest little nubs. It's
Yeah,
almost like yeah, it's we're always talking about like with life drawing especially like learn anatomy and blah blah blah. But with character design, you can be so simple. Like and sometimes that's the best thing, right? I'm sure that's sort of part of what you were thinking about.
absolutely. Yeah, the designs I'm really inspired by are really simplistic.
Yeah.
There's only the necessary details.
Yeah.
So because I've had this character for a long time, I was able to cut off some unneeded details.
That's so great. What it's in pencil, right? It's not digital?
Yes, this one's traditional. I
Okay.
did them on 4 separate pages, and then I
Oh yeah.
put them
Nice.
together for this.
That's good. Yeah, really cool. And it feels like even looking at it, it feels like there's a larger story that they're a part of, which I think always helps
Yeah.
the character feel believable.
And I did have a personal work. It was a pencil crayon piece
Yeah.
that was almost like a poster with the character in it and stuff.
Oh, cool. Actually, I would love to see all. I think you sent a personal piece over already, but I would.
Yeah, I just sent one of them. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was just a digital compilation of stuff
Awesome.
that I did.
Great. So a bunch of different stuff, some environments,
Yeah.
characters, little scenes.
I
Nice.
didn't actually try making backgrounds until maybe the last year I really attempted
Oh, okay.
backgrounds. So it's still a little new to me, but it's actually really fun.
Yeah. How did you do on your personal? Okay, 8 out of 10. Nice. That's great. Yeah, it looks like it was really fun to do. It looks like this is not, yeah, like it's not all necessarily for the portfolio, but you
Yeah.
created it all
Oh
anyways.
yeah, it's personal work. This is strictly stuff that I just did for fun.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. And your hand drawing. Tell me about your hand drawing.
Yes.
How did that go?
That's just one of them. I ended up doing both my parents' hands, and then I just
Oh,
did a better one.
that's a
Um,
great idea. Why have like because then you're not limited by the angles of your own hand
yeah.
that you're choosing.
Well, you still are kind of limited because you have to put your sketchbook somewhere,
Yeah.
drawing, and
Yeah.
you're yeah. But um, yeah, I found that worked a lot. It was better than the hand that I shared in the course
Mm.
was my own hand.
Yeah.
So I kind of just had to hold my hand there for half an hour.
Yeah, yeah. And you're always going
Yeah,
to move a little bit. And at least this one,
yeah,
especially with holding a doorknob, it's like, it doesn't strain your parents a lot to have to pose with their hand in that
yeah,
way. More tricky if you're, trying to get a dynamic life drawing pose and hold it for like 5 to 10 minutes might be more
yeah,
difficult. But
yeah.
yeah, this is really great. And I love that. I like the foreshortening on the index finger. That
Ooh, yes.
because that breaks that symmetry because these three first fingers are fairly symmetrical in the line, but then that finger just yeah suddenly breaks that
Yeah.
symmetry.
I
So
really liked your advice about making all the fingers different slightly.
yeah,
So
just
I tried to pose it like that.
yeah, for sure. That definitely helps. I'm glad that was helpful. Your storyboard. How'd you actually wait? Let's also see your mark. So your hand drawing. How'd you do on that? 8 out of 10. Awesome. Storyboard. So you get almost the same. It's funny because whenever like my last student that I was just talking to had 20 out of 25, and he's like, "Oh, I lost so many marks," but I'm like, "That's still like 80%. Like that's the same as
Yeah,
your
I
figure
guess.
marks."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. So how did this process go with your story?
I actually had a concept before this one, and it was something to do with a thrift store. And then he went home, and there's a chest in it, but that was about the
Okay.
only similarity in it. I showed it to a professor at the open house,
Yeah.
and people pointed some stuff out to me, and it
Hmm.
wasn't very cohesive. So
Oh yeah.
I ended up coming back with this idea about him just a construction worker in the junkyard, and then
Yeah.
there's nothing in the chest, but he thought there'd be something in it. But
Neat.
um, I did these drawings, and then I went back and added line weight and stuff, and
Okay, that makes
redid a few
sense.
poses trying to make the character more accurate.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, what was that process like to keep the character on model?
I definitely drew him a lot when I first got the little PDF with all the requirements on it. I
Yeah.
drew him in my sketchbook and tried working with him. I like
Yeah.
the character design a lot, but
Oh,
I think
awesome.
I could have done a little better,
Yeah.
but it's it's okay.
And you did all these digitally, right? So
Yes.
you probably drew them at a much larger size and then you kind of easily shrink them down to this
Yeah.
size.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Yeah, awesome. I love this second angle, the really dynamic upshot. That's
Yeah.
like, whew, that's a tricky one to work out all those how everything would sit in a believable way. And we still see the chest a little bit, which is really great.
Yeah.
The shot's really engaging.
Yeah. It took a lot of planning too, just putting stuff in the junkyard, trying to think about what would
Yeah,
be there.
of course.
It was
That's what.
fun though.
Yeah, I like when you have to. I mean, with this kind of scene, it's one of those things where you'd actually want to reference and find pictures of junkyards and stuff just to see what
Ah,
kind of stuff sticks out the most. What can you draw? Because it's hard to fake that. Sometimes it could look like a bunch of bushes or something if it's just a bunch of
yeah.
like random
If you're
material.
too vague with it,
Yeah, like to
and
include
to
a
put
little bit.
specific items in it.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. Um, oh man, this one is so epic. Um, so this is your background.
Yes,
I have to
this
turn
is
your
the
background.
aerial perspective.
15 out of 15. Amazing. Okay. So tell me, so wow, there's so much to look at here. Tell me about this one.
It's actually a little ironic because this was just a personal thing that I started maybe in the summer,
Yeah.
but I didn't get past the line work and it was all the same line weight and stuff. It
Oh,
was just
okay.
sitting in my files, and then maybe a few days before submission, I realized I could use this,
Yeah.
and it might be better than the one that we did in the course.
Neat.
So
That's so
I
great.
just added some line weight to it. It took a while, but
You're probably the first student ever that has told me that they had multiple that they could choose from, multiple
yeah.
portfolio samples.
Well,
It's always like, I'm just killing myself to get one done.
well, I found that was one of the biggest things that was helpful to me, is just keep on doing them over and over again and get
Yeah.
the best one out of it. Same with
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that's
character.
exactly what I remember saying in the beginning of the course, is just like, ideally,
Yeah,
like, because you took it way back in the first round in, I think,
right.
October it started. So I was
Yeah,
like, ideally what you do in this course, you could hand it in, but you want to do everything twice, because then you're going to learn all the difficult things
yeah.
the first time, and then you can apply it the second time. So that's maybe perhaps what helped in this one.
I think so, definitely.
Oh, and there's a cabin back here. That's so great. The little cabin in the corner.
Yeah.
Huh. That's so neat. There's so much to look at here. I would love to see this painted. That wasn't one of your personal pieces, was
That
it?
would be a feat.
Yeah. Awesome. Could you send me some more of your personal? I just love
Yeah,
seeing personal work because it's always
sure. Let me
so
just
neat.
grab it off my laptop here.
Sure. And your other perspective one too, if it's easy to
Yeah,
find,
yeah,
because
sure.
you got so well on that. And
I've got a file with them all together.
sure.
Not a
Um,
file, but a folder.
and if you have the short animation, you did really well in that one too. I would love to see that as well.
Yeah, sure.
How did you do the animation, by the way? What
Um, I I have the program Clip Studio Paint, but I
Oh
have the
yeah.
add-on with there's a little animation pop-out thing. So
Oh
it's like
cool.
the art program, except there's a timeline and frames and stuff.
Oh neat. Wow. So they're gonna make Clip Studio Paint into an animation software gradually, I guess. This must be maybe the first little iteration of it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's neat to hear, because I think Clip Studio Paint's very affordable, isn't it?
Um, I got the disc. I think I got it for my or for Christmas one year, I think. But yeah, it was maybe $120. I
That's
could be wrong
great.
on that. It was a
That's
while ago.
amazing as far as software goes. That's like maybe 1 year of Photoshop for me. But you have that forever, so that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. It's just uploading some files to the email.
Great. In the meantime, do you have any, like, just kind of more general tips about like the whole process, or?
Um, Tips. I think it's very important to start doing the figure drawing from very early on. Just
Yeah.
practicing a lot.
Yeah.
Especially with uh, figures from life and observational drawing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you have a local figure drawing you went to?
There's nothing near me, but I did manage to get to one life drawing session in
Yeah.
Winnipeg.
In
So I took
Winnipeg.
an
Wow.
overnight trip. Yeah, but
Huh.
that was really helpful.
That's great. Awesome.
Yeah,
Did you practice drawing anatomy very much prior to, like, or as well as everything else?
I kind of did with online resources and stuff, but I really didn't think about it much until the portfolio came around and I started thinking about that.
Yeah. Huh.
It's crazy how much my art improved from it, even just my personal work and everything and
Yeah.
cartoony stuff. It's it's so important.
Yeah, it is. And it kind of just sits in the background. It's not something that you need to focus on in the front and center forever, but is just learning it a little bit. Suddenly, all of your characters will be a little bit
Yeah.
more structural and make a little bit more sense.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing I recommend.
Yeah.
And then just getting feedback and trying to figure out how you are compared to the portfolio standards.
Yeah.
Of course, it's really great how people do videos on YouTube of successful and rejected portfolios.
Yeah.
Those are really great.
It was really great for me too, even creating these courses, because I felt like I needed to use examples. Like I needed tangible
Yeah.
examples to draw from so that we could look at them and break them apart and see why they were successful. Do you think you'll do something like that with your own portfolio?
I was thinking about making a video, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, that'd be fun. It's nice to reflect on your artwork and like to process it, not just like do it and then kind of move on
Yeah.
to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's any other tips I'd give.
Oh, and when did you start your portfolio? And like, would
Um,
you have, did you have enough time?
I started thinking about it really in the summer and practicing anatomy and stuff like that.
In the
And
summer? Oh, great. That's
yeah,
plenty of time. So
yeah.
that's always when I recommend is like as soon as, or even before your, that year of school starts,
Mm.
just start, just get going and anticipate perhaps that you might do it multiple times. You might do the whole process twice. At least if you start in the summer and you keep a, were you fairly consistent with like producing it, or were there big lapses of
Um,
like when you had a ton of school to do, for example?
yeah, there was ups and downs really. I definitely got more productive as the due date went closer. But
Yeah, yeah. It's
uh,
suddenly February and you're like, okay, it's time
yep.
to
Yeah,
stop going to school and yeah.
exactly. Um, but I still made sure I had time to do everything and
Yeah,
more. Yeah,
yeah. That's great.
it's really good. Like if you take 6 months to prepare even,
Here it is.
that's a good amount. Yeah, there's the email. That's a good
Awesome.
amount of time.
6 months, yeah, for sure. That sounds it could be enough. Ooh, there's
And
a
one of
video.
the personal works is an animation reel,
Okay.
and it has audio. So
Awesome. Can't wait to see it. All right. See our download. Oh, it's downloading right now still. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, you can see it here too.
so that's
Oh,
the
cool. That's the
yeah,
pencil crayon one you mentioned.
yep,
Awesome.
yeah. It's I don't actually work in traditional much, especially with colors.
Yeah.
I'm much more of a digital person, so it was really interesting.
That must have been fun to try out.
Yeah, I definitely want to explore more mediums.
Yeah. Great. Here we are. All right. I'll just refresh this. And where are we? All right. Okay, so here's the.
Yeah, there's the other hand.
Oh, nice. This is great. Yeah, I love this. That pinky, that could have been a big troublesome area for sure, but you pulled it off really, really well. So that's it after. Okay, so you did both from the same angle. That's great
Yeah,
because so many students, like it's one of those just things that you keep hearing is like do two different sides of your hand, but it's
mm,
like, well, how that's just awkward. It's almost like you're
yeah,
forcibly changing the camera
yeah,
angle. Um, Whereas like you think it would just be like, well, if the hand moves enough, you're going to see a completely different side of it. You're seeing the
right.
underside of the fingers, whereas before you're seeing the top of them. But yeah,
Mm. But I was wondering almost if that was what took off a couple marks that I
maybe I
on the back of
suppose.
the palm.
Yeah, yeah, or even just slightly change that camera angle a little bit.
Yeah, to make it a little more dynamic.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Oh, I remember this character, the Hindu inspired
Yes,
character.
yeah. I made sure to include that.
Neat.
And then
Yeah.
the second rotation was I did that one and the one that I
Oh,
put finished, but I chose the better.
yeah. Yeah. Cool. Nice. This character's crazy. So interesting.
I like feathered raptors. I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah. You have a great range of like style here. Like just you have some geometric characters. Even your character you chose is almost like halfway between organic and geometric. So you have
Yeah,
some more geometric characters, and then you have them very um, more organic, more anatomical based characters. So that's
yeah.
really cool. Yeah, nice, nice, nice variety of work. Okay, here's your other background line drawing.
decided to make this one traditional just to prove I can do it.
Yeah.
Basically.
This is neat. Wow. So it's an animal character. Uh,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it, wow, so much information here. It's so neat. Is
This
some of
is
this inspired by your real life or?
um I'd say I might relate to the character in some ways. The record player. I know I was talking about that in one of the weeks, but I have a record player, so I kind
Yeah,
of incorporated that in there.
nice. So wow, like do you have this chair or did you kind of
No,
look this up?
um, I designed the chair to
Wow,
kind of look futuristic.
amazing. Good for you. That always takes an extra level of effort for sure when you're actually like,
Yeah,
yeah, like thinking about what would be here. And then you filled it so well, but then there's still a nice amount of space. It almost feels like he's in like some kind of airplane hangar or
yeah. I was trying to. His story. It's set in the future, so it's kind of there's futuristic buildings and everything, but then he goes in junkyards and stuff and scrounges for retro things.
cool.
Bit of a clash.
Awesome. That's great. I love that you can tell me that because even like I can tell that you've thought about the story of this scene beyond just like drawing what is fun and cool. You know, it's like
Yeah,
and I always say that to make a character believable, you need to fill out their personality, fill out their story. We need to believe that this is someone that exists, and to do that, you need to know them a little bit, right?
I super agree with that. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and we're back here. Awesome. Well, okay. Oh, the videos. Let's see the videos. Okay, so let's do your animation first.
Yeah.
Come on, VLC. There we are.
Oh, I picked the one with the bad quality. Oh
So
well.
we'll look at it from afar and then we won't even know. Awesome. So, so you've given a lot of personality to that juice box.
Yeah.
That's so neat. I bet. Yeah, and you got perfect on that, or you got one mark off.
Yeah, one mark. I
Oh,
think it
that's.
might be the cup gains mass, or juice box kind of gains mass.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Goes on.
Overall. Yeah, really creative though. It's like you made him a living creature or a juice box
Yeah,
come alive or
kind of
something.
anthropomorph that
I
word.
don't know anyone that can say that word. Like even people that are teaching courses on like how to anthropomorphize
Yeah.
characters, even they can't say the word. I think we should just abandon it and make a new word.
Yeah. Yeah, might as well.
That's great. Well done with that one. All right, so this is your personal art. So do you want to tell us a little
Yeah.
bit before we look?
So, yeah, I guess to preface, it's just some of the most fluid, clearly animated things that I've
Yeah,
done just as personal work, just for fun over the last few years.
cool. Oh, so it's kind of like a little demo reel.
Yeah,
Okay, awesome.
it's a few minutes long, so
Okay. Oh, that's your character.
yeah.
Nice. Oh, stop motion. Wow, little animated bits.
I tried to sync it to the music too.
Yeah. Wow, good for you. Wow, I love the little papermation. So
Thanks.
fun.
That was admittedly a school project, but
Yeah, well, that's fine. Oh, a little run cycle or walk cycle. Wow, nice. That's almost like an animated storyboard.
yeah, yeah, there's a few animatics in here.
Is this a person like a personal thing or for high school or
A lot of these are personal. A couple
okay.
of them, there was an animation course that they
Okay.
offered in grade 11. It was
Oh,
really
nice.
basic, but I did a couple of them for that.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, nice.
And coming up is a thing that took me maybe a week to finish, but it's just a little piece of finished animation.
Wow. Holy, that
Yeah.
one I'm guessing. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, why'd you put that? Why did you put that at the end? I guess you wanted to finish strong, or
Yeah. Finished with a bang, I guess.
neat. And did you give them a little like slip that said like if you can only watch a few times, like pick this time, this time, this time, or did you just
No.
no?
I mean, when you were actually submitting on the website, all it was there were individual sections and then you uploaded the picture. I didn't
Ah,
think about it anyway, but
I
I don't know
see.
if that was possible.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure either. I always just wonder when there's like, you don't know if they're gonna watch the whole thing. You want to make sure they see at
Yeah.
least these 2 or 3 moments. But yeah, that's great. You've done so much. Like there's such a great variety of stuff to pull from. So that's awesome. And it's nice to include some animation, I think, beyond just the short animation, because
Yeah.
everyone always says that the personal work is sort of just an extension of the other things they're asking for in the portfolio, except obviously with your own spin, with your own creative direction, and
Yeah.
a little bit beyond. You can do paintings, landscapes, whatever. But now that they've included a short animation in the actual portfolio, it's like, well, they might actually want to see more personal work animation.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
That's great. So yeah, now that you're in, that must feel really great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
have you figured out all of your living stuff yet, or is that still to be decided?
In the process, I just applied for the dorms,
Oh yeah,
waiting for that.
nice.
Yeah.
That's great. And any last tips for our students that are trying to get into future years that you haven't covered yet, or what do you think?
Just keep practicing as much as you can. Make sure to look at your stuff. Um, if you're scanning stuff in, clean it up really
Yeah,
well. Because I found that, yeah, that really helped with my presentation.
awesome.
And you can do it.
That's great. Thanks, Kaylen. That's so nice to hear. I'm sure our future students will really enjoy hearing your words and perhaps even look for your eventual portfolio video that you do if you decide to do
Yes, yes, maybe.
that. All right. Well, thanks so much for chatting with me about this. It's always nice to hear from the students because it's been a few years since I've been in the program, so it's nice to
Yeah,
hear the updates about what it actually feels like.
I'm glad to share. I'm glad to help.
Awesome. Well, good luck once you're in the program or when you're all set up and you're studying. And I look forward to hearing you later.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. See ya.